is it oversimplifying things? But the idea that you can join a video call with people conversing using language over the internet in multiple different locations at any one time, and through speech, we're able to dissolve, I think was a word you used, but the problems that are holding us back, whether that be our own inner monologue or past trauma, we can just talk through it and it just moves. Like,
Yes,
is that oversimplifying things? I mean, how does it work?
Well, it's understanding the earliest point that you can remember and access that feeling of whatever it is that you're trying to resolve or dissolve. That's the key. Like, he teaches you how to go back to that point in time where those memories have come from. And sometimes there were points I couldn't access the memories. I couldn't even sit with the feelings that were coming up. Like, I was just trying to run away from myself because it was so visceral. And yes, and that's the irony too. It's just hot air. It's just words. You're abracadabra. As I speak, so I create. And the way Peter frames it is, it's either white magic, and then you can create, like, look how powerful you are at creating incredible things, but look how equally powerful you are at creating all of the shit that's happened to you through your life, that then gives you evidence, and your ego uses to tell you you aren't worthy, you're not safe, you're not lovable, and it's just dissolving the ego's resistance so that you can drop into a place of pure acceptance. So yes, it sounds simple, but
Well, but it's much easier said than done. I think it's also fair to say, the questions that you would have asked yourself, the places that you were taken to. I obviously haven't been through the course, so I can't speak for what it would be like for myself, but it's making me remember some experiences I had with some very deep meditation. So I had a podcast guest, Sam Gustafson, shout out to Sam, and we worked together for quite some time doing these like mad kind of 2-hour deep dive meditation sessions on a Sunday night, just on an audio, signal audio. And some of the depth of the meditation I was taken to was like nothing I'd experienced before. But then you were able to have these conversations whilst in this deep meditative state, that I spoke with dead relatives of mine, including my father, about certain things that were going on in my life or that happened in his life. And the way that Sam framed it that I really liked, and we became friends through the Bitcoin space, and he's talking about basically you're going into the operating system and you're tinkering around with the software in the back end that then has ramifications in your hardware, i.e. your physical body in the physical reality. And that for me was something that really started to hit home. And since doing that work, I've started to see it in more and more places. And I'm sure Peter would be all over this stuff. Perhaps you could give us some examples, Jel, of like where, obviously you've loved the course, but have you seen anything specific? I mean, have you only just finished it? It's probably a bit hard to say, oh, this happened because of the course or whatever. But any examples that spring to mind of like specific use cases of things that wouldn't have happened prior to doing this kind of work?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm in a integration process, because it only has been a few weeks, but for me, there's just so many. Like, it's my whole
Really? Wow.
my physical meat suit. I feel so much clearer. I'm able to process whatever's going on in my life in such a different way, with such a deeper level of awareness of where I am in that, and then what's happening around me. And I know I'm definitely choosing my responses over just reacting, and it's coming. I can see that in my parenting. I've got a toddler and teenagers. So just that space between reactions or responses is so different. I can help them, talk them through things that I don't know how else I would have been able to. And I have teenagers. Teenagers are amazing, but raising teenagers in this world is really scary. So it's being able to not transpose my fears onto them because of my past, if that makes sense. And
Mm.
that intergenerational healing, like breaking that cycle, like that is what I know I've my soul's here to do, because there's so much. I've got Holocaust background. There's so much in my DNA. There's so much trauma. There's so much there that I know plays parts, or has up until this point. But I can see how just showing up for them, I can be so different in the way that I can hold space for them and be with all of their emotions and not run from them because I'm getting triggered. I can see that in my work with my colleagues. Everyone's got stuff going on, and this is what I'm finding this side of the last 5 years. There's nowhere I turn where there's levels of helplessness that are quite distressing in so many aspects of people's lives and society. I've never seen anything like it. So be able to feel levels of hope and awareness and just being able to be okay with everything that's coming up for me and for the people around me has been extraordinary. And I felt like I was pretty good at doing that, but this is like a whole nother way of existing and operating in the world. Yeah.
And Jel, what's resonating for me there is this idea that the best investment you can make is in yourself. And what I had previously been guilty of is not understanding how important one's health was as part of that paradigm. So it would be like go and learn how to do digital marketing, or go to university and do a business management degree, or it was all about how to make money. But it wasn't necessarily like, well, hang on, if you don't live an optimally healthy life with the body that you have and the mindset that you have, then none of that money matters. And so this kind of work, it's really just opening up to me, and it's something I'm going to do lots more of in the future, I think. But it's just very fascinating to hear you talk through it all. And again, this is mainly a kind of investment podcast. So people will be listening mainly for kind of like, how do I make some money? But this is such a big part of it too. And if you're guilty of overlooking it, then actually none of that money matters anyway.